right, well, thank you all for being here. Today is Father's Day, so very happy that everyone came out. I'm sure we have a lot of people doing things with their families to celebrate the day. I have the rare opportunity to have my father here, um, so that's pretty auspicious. Um, and man, I always like to talk around world events or holidays or things that are relevant. And so I was thinking about fatherhood a lot. I am not a father myself. Um, but yeah, and thinking about, celebrating fathers. And I just was looking at every angle, and I really, outside of my own personal experience with my dad, I couldn't really nail anything down that makes a father a father. And when we celebrate Father's Day, like, what is that exactly that we're celebrating? Obviously the first instinct is like, oh, well, like strength and provider and protector. But like, I think we know now that that's, not just a man thing. I got a lot of strength and providing from my father. I also got a lot of emotion. Sorry to throw you under the bus, but a lot of sensitivity and a lot of art and creativity from my father, and a lot of strength from my mother. So, what else is there? Fathers are our first taste of what it is to be a man or interact with a man. Um, but I don't know, I'm just increasingly convinced that I don't think man necessarily means anything outside of a Y chromosome. Um, I guess it means, in certain ways, privilege. Um, but what it means to be a man, um, what does that mean? You get a job and you don't cry? Like, um, I've just gotten so, and just even the whole practice of saying, this quality is masculine and that quality is feminine. Um, I'm really just kind of in a cloud of not knowing with all of that. Um, but I also know that there is a lot of beautiful writing and beautiful work being done around the sacred feminine energy and sacred masculine energy. I just kind of don't really know a lot about it. Um, and so, yeah, as I was thinking about, oh, it's Father's Day, I'll talk about this thing because that's what fathers do. I just couldn't land on anything. And all of our fathers are unique to us. And the things that they bring are unique to us. There are single fathers. There are fathers lost. Um, all different kinds. So that's it. It's open-ended. I don't really feel like there's any one quality that makes a father versus a mother or a teacher or anything else. And so to me, I guess that's just an invitation to look at all of the nuances of our personal relationships with our fathers, whatever that may look like. Um, so yeah, I hope everyone in some way, whether actually tangibly or maybe in your heart or in your spirit, just get in touch with all the ways our fathers have helped us, nurtured us, harmed us, um, and show gratitude for all of it. Um, so while I couldn't find a quality per se to highlight, I did think of a story, a famous Zen story that we can look at. It's kind of an alternative view of fatherhood, but it's a very rich story. And I've heard it a bunch of times, but I found a random translation or telling of it on Medium. Does everyone know what Medium is? It's like a blog forum, a writing forum, right? Is that accurate? Yeah. And this particular telling of this story is the best I've ever heard. I've heard it in so many different ways. So I'm really excited to read it. And I'll just quote our guest speaker, Gak, who always reminds us to hear these teachings, hear these talks, hear these stories, just like we're a tree, and this is wind, and we let the wind rustle whatever leaves rustle, and then let it go. And whatever leaves don't rustle, that's fine too. So, once upon a time, there was a Zen master named Hakuin who lived on the outskirts of a village in Japan. Now, Hakuin was an actual guy. We have lots of writings and art from him. He was an artist. And he lived in the 17th and 18th century. So this whole once upon a time business, it actually wasn't that long ago. He's one of the kind of more modern Japanese Zen masters when you think that the 18th century was only 200-300 years ago, and this practice goes back thousands of years. And Hakuin was weird and really unique teacher in the Rinzai lineage. Anyway, so he lives on the outskirts of a village in Japan. He was very famous and had a great reputation. The whole village respected him. Whenever he would go to the village for alms, people would greet and welcome him and give him many things. I love this translation. So already, at least for me, a whole world of practice opens up. What gets stoked in you hearing that? This great, famous man with a great reputation. The whole village respected him. They're giving him things. They're praising him. What does that bring up in you? I want to be like that. Maybe cynicism. What was so good about him? Maybe these villagers are dumb Kool-Aid drinkers. That reminds me of someone I know. Were there any famous women with great reputation in this village? What did he do? What was he like? That everyone respects him and likes him and gives him things. I don't know, at least for me, that's a lot. I've spent a lot of my life, I won't say wasted, but so deeply invested in being the guy that people respect and give things. It's a painful place to be. But one day, everything changed. That's a whole other koan. How much does that show up in our life? Everything's one way, and then just boom, out of nowhere, everything changes. So everything changed. A young and unmarried woman in the village became pregnant and gave birth to a child. This isn't particularly relevant to the story, but I just want to flag this language of this woman became pregnant. Just taking all of her agency and experience out of it. Pretty problematic. So, this woman has a child out of wedlock, and when her family asks about the child's father, she said that it was Hakuin's child. The girl's father was enraged. He gathered people in town, and they all walked to Hakuin's hut. It didn't take long for people to change. I think that's a really interesting phrase. Just one little nugget. And this person that we love and adore all of a sudden becomes a demon. And how does that show up in my life? Just one little thing happens. I have a great rapport with someone. We have great community stuff happening. And then, I mean, shit, I'll tell a story from my own life during COVID. Um, I think a few times during the pandemic, we had our Zoom friends. At least that's how I kind of kept in touch with people. And that meant we could talk to folks who were not in San Diego or nearby. And a few times I was having these, months long Zoom relationship with these people, and they would say something like, well, I don't want to get partisan or sides or political, but they would say one little thing about how the pandemic was being treated that did not align with how I saw it, and like, done. Done talking to you. We're no longer friends. I think that was a particularly charged time, and none of us were really in our right minds, or at least I wasn't. But yeah, what a sad thing to give up on an entire relationship because of one view, or to give up on a job that we love because one thing goes wrong. But it's true. Sometimes it don't take long for people to change. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I don't know. Anyway, so all these people who loved and respected and gifted things to Hakuin, now they're got their pitchforks and they're at his hut. They attacked Hakuin's hut, started abusing him. They set the hut on fire. Hakuin ran out and said, "What's the matter?" People shouted, "This child is yours. Take him with you." Hakuin said, "Is that so? Is this child mine?" Just then the child started crying, so he started singing a song to calm the child down. Hakuin didn't argue or say anything. People left him with the child and left him be from there. So imagine, well, let's keep going. Um, After a few months, Hakuin went to the village to beg for alms with the child, but every door he stood in front of was slammed shut. He walked by the village roads and crowds of people started teasing him, abusing him, and throwing stones at him. Hakuin reached the house of the girl whose child it was. He said, "Don't give me food, but at least give me some milk for this child. I may be at fault, but what's the fault of this child?" The child was crying incessantly, and the girl was unable to bear the sound of it. She fell at her father's feet and confessed that she had lied about Hakuin being the father. She had done so to protect the real father's identity and had used Hakuin's name as a cover-up. The father realized what a great mistake had been made. He ran out of the house and fell at Hakuin's feet and tried to take the baby back. And Hakuin asked, "What's the matter?" The girl's father said, "Please, please forgive me. This child is not yours." Hakuin replied, "Is that so? The child is not mine?" Hakuin gave the child to the woman's father and left. Then the people from the village they grabbed him and said, "Are you crazy? Why did you not deny it at the time?" Hakuin replied, "What difference would it have made? The child must belong to somebody. You had already burned one hut. You would just burn another one. You had enjoyed defaming one person. You would have just enjoyed defaming one other person." People said, "But the child wasn't yours. Everyone condemned you and insulted you and humiliated you. Your good reputation was lost. Everyone thought you were a bad person. Still, you didn't say anything. Why?" Hakuin replied, "I am neither bad nor good. I am simply myself. I have dropped this idea of being good and bad. I'm not concerned with your respect or your disrespect. I do what I feel is right, and you do what you feel is right. So that's the story of Hakuin and the baby. Um, I don't think it is promoting being insulted and getting stones thrown at you. I don't think it's promoting injustice. I think, and we don't know if it actually happened, but I do think it serves as a really interesting invitation. Um, being a good person, everyone loves and respects me. Being a bad person, everyone thinks I'm terrible. This is such a potent aspect of our life. How many choices do I make based on how people see me? I guess that's basically it. That's putting it simply. Um, how much can I let things be? How much am I willing to be the villain, the pebble in someone's shoe, for the sake of others, right? He's basically doing this all for the kid. The kid needs someone to take care of him. They burned down his hut, and he's there singing to this baby, just doing what needs to be done, regardless of what people think of him. Um, and and then that last thing he says, like, I do what I feel is right, and you do what you feel is right. You thought it was right to condemn me, insult me, and burn my house down. That's a real powerful one. That's a real powerful one. When we meet people who take action that we consider to be evil or spread information that we consider to be harmful and problematic, I don't think this is saying we just let it go and don't do anything about it, but to take the view of they really think they're doing the right thing. They're not personally trying to attack me. They might be attacking you, abusing you and making your life worse, oppressing you, and whole demographics of people. But I think when we can try to open up to the idea that they actually think they're doing the right thing, they wake up in the morning thinking, no one wakes up in the morning saying, how can I fuck up today? How can I just be the worst person possible and make the world a worse place? Everything they do might be making the world a worse place. And that makes me kind of feel, honestly, a little bit of sympathy. They really think they're doing something good, and they are so mistaken and just creating hatred, violence, misinformation, all the things. But I do think, at least in my experience, when I can open up to this idea, they are just trying to do the best they can, it allows me to approach them and approach the action to take change more soberly and more effectively, right? If I'm trying to make change by like getting those evil people who just want to be evil out, I'm just not at my game. I'm not as sharp. I'm not as effective. I don't know. That's just my experience. It's very difficult, particularly when people and their ideas are attacking you personally, you and your family and your community. It's very difficult. So that's why we practice. Continue. That's what Zazen is just opening. opening up. Doesn't mean we don't fight, doesn't mean we don't take action, doesn't mean we don't try to make change, because as we see, people can change in the blink of an eye. But it does mean that we change things from within, this oneness, this interconnectedness, so we can feel our enemies, feel with our enemies, or if not enemies, our obstacles, let's say. So, yeah, thanks for listening to this complex and rich story. Thank you for all the fathers who do what needs to be done, even when it might not be popular. Um, and for all the selfless parents out there, I hope we all get a little celebration today. Thank you.